There's a couple of separate surveys out there, one from Texas, one New York, said if things don't change, 50% of those states' bars and restaurants could be closed down in the next 6 months. So where do we go from here? To help answer those questions are two men who know all about the service industry. John Schnatter is the founder of Papa John's Pizza, and Andrew Puzder. He is the former CEO of Hardee's Restaurants and the author of It's Time to Let America Work Again. Gentlemen, welcome to you both. We're going to start with you, Mr. Puzder. The title of your book says it all. It's time to let America get back out there and get to work. How do you see the way the whole China virus saga has played out with America's businesses?
Well, it's been a disaster for America's businesses. I'm happy that President Trump and Congress were able to do some things to assist American businesses. The Paycheck Protection Act, their program, ended up saving 51 million jobs, and then the president acted on his own. It would be great if Congress could do something to help people in this industry now. I think for John's sector, which is pizza, and pizza has delivery, they're well known for delivery, and the sector I was in, we have drive-throughs and are well known for our drive-through business. We actually did pretty well. Quick service was showing positive sales. I know pizza's been showing positive sales. Papa John's in particular was way up during the last few months, and it's because of the way that the food was delivered. But for restaurants that depend on sit-down business, for your steakhouses, for a place like Del Frisco's, or you're in New York, Agra or Milo's, these places depend on that sit-down business, and at a 25% capacity, which is what you have in New York City now, that's probably not enough to keep them in business through the end of this till we get a vaccine. I think they need at least probably 50%.
Yeah, out here in Texas, it's 75%.
Oh,
John,
right.
I want to bring you into this conversation. Yeah. John, you started Papa John's out of a broom closet in I think it was your father's restaurant, if I remember reading that correctly. So can you imagine, and I have been driving by these buildings where these restaurants, brand spanking new, they were just starting to open up in March. They never did. Can you imagine starting a business in this climate?
Oh, no way. I mean, it was hard enough when we could keep our doors open, but the open close aspect up and down, that would be, the whipsaw effect would be extremely difficult. But I think there are three different scenarios here. I think there are businesses that got hurt, they're not going to reopen. God bless them. I think there are businesses that got hurt are going to reopen. And then you got businesses like Papa John's that, I mean, we couldn't do no wrong in the last 6 months. And, I think short term it helped us. I think the next 12 months is going to be extremely difficult for us.
Yeah, Mr. Puzder, I've got to ask you, too, about certain sectors of this country where a certain political party is running things, the Democrat, what I call the Democrat Socialist Party. They don't seem eager to help these businesses stay afloat. As a matter of fact, the emphasis seems to be in keeping the economy shut down. Am I unfair for making that observation?
Not at all. In fact, these blue states, these Democrat-run states, actually have both the highest unemployment and the highest death rates. They're really handling the pandemic very, very poorly. New York, is an example of a place where now the pandemic is really under control. New York's a lot like Sweden. The deaths peaked. The deaths were very high for a while. And now they've come down in a state with 20 million people, very, very few deaths per day. Now, one death is too many. I don't mean to trivialize people dying or their suffering, but the death rate is very, very low. And to keep the entire economy shut down at this point is inexcusable. And I think in many of these states, really the only explanation is politics. Here in Tennessee, we're open. I know Florida's open. Indiana, I know Texas is mostly open, even though they've had some cases recently. But I really think a lot of this is politics, and a lot of it will disappear after the election.
I have a feeling you might be right. And John, speaking of politics, Papa John's used to have a very tight relationship with the National Football League. And I just got to ask you, when you were running the show there at Papa John's, and if you were to see the current state of the NFL with its kneeling, disrespecting the flag, disrespecting our national anthem, would you conceive of forming a partnership with a league like today's modern NFL?
Well, we had severed the ties with the NFL for this very reason, not because the kneeling so much as the fact that Roger Goodell and the NFL didn't resolve the problem to the players and owner satisfaction. But the problem with Trump right now, he's created such a high hurdle I mean, he had unemployment at 3.9%. Right now, it's 7.9, which under Obama would have been pretty good numbers. So here we are in the middle of a pandemic, and Trump's numbers are as good as Obama's in a good situation. But thank God that Donald Trump had our economy rolling the way he did going into this. Otherwise, we'd have some really severe issues.
Amen to that. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate the economic perspective here on the Chris Salcedo Show. Coming.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.